What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a YouTuber by the name of Onision, and he is super creepy. If you don't know who Onision is, or you've never heard of him, he is a YouTuber who has been known to kind of mingle around with girls that aren't really old enough for a 30-year-old man to be mingling around with. He also had a website that was kind of like a forum where underage girls can go and post pictures of themselves, and that's all I'm really going to say about that. And today I'm going to be reacting to one of his videos called Onision Virginity Explained, where he talks about his very first kiss, and for some reason it's titled Virginity. I don't understand it. I don't know, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to finish filming this or even put it on YouTube because of some of the things he's going to probably be talking about in this video. So let's just jump right into it and see where we go.
When I was 11 years old, okay, this is a story about the first time I was ever really intense with somebody.
I feel like the story about the first time you were ever intense with someone isn't a story that should be on the internet, especially if you were only, I don't know, 11 years old. I also want to address just how all around just creepy he is, just right out the gate. I mean, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but this is already just kind of creeping me out a little bit.
When I was only 11 years old, okay, there was this girl from church, and I wrote about her in my most recent book, Reaper's Creek.
I'm sure she was super excited to find out that she was in your book.
It's available on Amazon.com. I think it's a great book. People who love me probably think it's a good book.
I actually looked up his book online and on Reddit, actually, and it appears that he's right. The people who do love him love his book. Probably like his family and maybe his mom.
There's this girl, and I knew her from church. Her name was Julie. I think I named her Julie in the book. I don't remember. But she had this curly hair. There was major curly hair. She had kind of tannish skin. I'm very certain she was Puerto Rican.
The way he's trying to describe her is trying to get us to feel like, wow, she's really sexy, even though she was underage. Like, it's almost still like a fantasy. Wow, I was with a Puerto Rican, even though it was 20 years ago.
This moment when I was about to get in the shower, I think I put this in the book too, but she was like, why don't we shower together? And I was 11 and she was 15.
This is one of the creepiest flexes I've ever heard of. He's reminiscing about a time when he was 11 years old and a 14-year-old girl or 15-year-old girl, whatever, wanted to take a shower with him. I'm pretty sure every other like 11-year-old in the entire world would probably get really grossed out by the fact that a girl wants to have a shower with them. The only kind of thing I was intense with when I was 11 years old was trying to build like the most badass robot out of my Legos. And that's basically it. Trying not to fall off my skateboard, maybe.
When I was about to get in the shower, she was like, why don't I join you? And I was like, yes, please. But I didn't say that to her because, you know, I was a 10-year-old and I was appropriate.
So it's inappropriate for a 10-year-old to say he doesn't want to take a shower with a 15-year-old. But it's appropriate for a man in his 30s to reminisce about it and be like, yes, I want to do that.
And then she said she was just kidding. And that was, you know, a downer for me as a kid. Because if you guys don't know about guys, we really like older girls. A lot of us do. And I liked older girls.
He liked older girls. As in when he was 10 or 11, he liked 15-year-old girls. But what history has told us about Onision is that he still likes 15-year-old girls.
So anyway, one day we're at a cabin, right? It's like a little church retreat, and I'm in the room with like a bunch of other people. It's like the whole top floor of the cabin. But this girl and I, she reaches out her hand and is holding my hand under a pillow. She's 15, I'm 11.
It's almost like he's never been with another girl since then. Like, this is the only memory he's ever been able to hold on to, and he just brags about it to everyone. Like, he always has to remind us that she was 15 and he was 11. Like we care at all.
She decides that once the lights are out, she should crawl on over to my bed and start kissing me.
That's just bad decision making on her part.
And that's what we did. We kissed a lot. And after I did things with my hands, after we got real jiggy, no, Will Smith.
I feel like content that is illegal to own and possess because it has to do with underage women should kind of hold the same grounds with telling a story like this about underage women in the kind of context he's talking about it. I feel like this is still something that kind of turns him on late at night when he's just laying there remembering that this is the only experience he's ever had with a woman.
I, for some reason, knew how to do things, and she was kind of surprised by that.
I'm telling you, this is all just one giant, creepy, weird-ass flex of him trying to tell us about all this stuff he did with this really hot Puerto Rican 15-year-old girl while he was 11. It has just a disgusting kind of bragginess to it. He knew how to do things with his hands for some reason, like we care at all. Like it's not painting a really gross picture for all of us.
And she said that I had a heart of a 15-year-old because I knew how to do things or something. I don't know. I was just really intense.
Because he knew how to do things with his hands, he had the heart of a 15-year-old? What does that even mean?
But after that little thing, we just basically went to third base.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. I didn't know it was going to be a 15-year-old and 11-year-old story about getting to third base with a decent amount of detail for all of us.
The next morning, she's sitting downstairs on the couch. So I approach her, or her sitting on the couch, and we just start kissing real heavy again.
So this is supposed to be some kind of church retreat thing, which I'm assuming would have like parents and guardians and maybe pastors and adults. I feel like it should have adults like somewhere in the story keeping track of this apparently co-ed sleeping arrangement they have, and this co-ed just hang out and do whatever the hell you want kind of thing going on here.
Then we just like stared at each other a lot. Like she just knew, you know, like she knew what happened. And she was just like looking at me with those eyes like, oh, I know what I did with you. You know what you did with me. We have this connection now.
The look she was giving you was more likely the look of just sheer disappointment that she had in herself.
Anyway, so I wrote about this in Reaper's Creek, my book, and for some reason, people didn't understand that that was a story from my actual life. So they decided to make it like I wrote a story in some kind of creepy way when it was a story about my own life.
I'm just going to stop the video right here because he just continues to go on talking about how he added this story in the book and people thought he made it up. So they were just assuming he was a creepy douchebag for making up the story, which in real life, it was a true story that happened to him. He didn't make it up. He was just retelling a story about how he's 15-year-old getting jiggy with it with some 15-year-old girl, which I guess doesn't make him a creepy douchebag. Maybe, I don't know. And then he plays the victim kind of telling the story about how this girl was actually doing stuff with one of his friends who was younger than him too. And I just kind of feel sorry for her. And it's just literally 2 more minutes of video where he's just rambling on about how important it is that this is something that happened to him, making it just trying to convince us that he's not some pedophile who still fantasizes about this Puerto Rican girl with long curly hair and tan skin and is 15 years old and all this, just too much details about the things that they did. Oh my God. And I try to end most of my videos on, you know, kind of a semi-positive note about making fun of the person that I'm talking about, but I just can't really come up with anything for this guy. It's just, there's a lot of just hateful comments on this video, and I feel like they're all fairly appropriate. I want you guys to leave a comment below letting me know what you think about Onision's virgin story. He didn't like lose his virginity. Thank God he didn't tell that story. I'm sure it's really bad. But his first kiss story, is it inappropriate or am I just being too sensitive? And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't and you give it a thumbs down, you know what? I totally understand and I won't hold anything against you. And if you guys want to see more videos, not quite like this one, hopefully a little bit better next time, go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring the little bell icon so that way you get notified whenever I do upload videos, which is usually about 1 to 2 a week now. And hope you guys have a good week and I'll see you next time.
I was trying to keep relying on my parents said to save me. Years gone by.